Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well. Welcome back to the channel, of course, as always. Thank you for clicking over and joining me as we consider moving right along number 77 on the AFI Top 100 1976's All the President's Men. Here we have in incredible top form Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. Uh, wow, what a treat to see this movie. As I mentioned before, part of the joy of this project for me, the AFI Top 100 review, is seeing films that I simply never would have otherwise, and this is one of them. I kind of knew about it, of course, knowing about the history of the Watergate scandal and the novel upon which this film was based, and it's sort of a look into the Watergate scandal from the side of the journalist, from the side of the truth seeker. But I just don't think I would have picked this film up if I had not, you know, been compelled to do so in this setting. I'm looking at just a couple accolades: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nominations, Academy Award nominations, and 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. 4 Oscar wins, and for any film, whether it's a sci-fi or a thriller or a drama or sort of a drama documentary in between, like this film is. Although I'm sure what would they actually call it? What were you actually going to designate this film as? Political thriller. Well, I suppose so. 4 Oscars is a big deal. And so we have to talk about why this film is on the AFI Top 100. First of 3 questions. Well, we've talked about New Hollywood, and here it is again. Okay, 1976, getting toward the end of New Hollywood, but still a movie that challenges the culture, that looks strongly at the current state of the culture and says, what is happening? Definitely happening here in this film. And in the American Film Institute, okay, in the family of films in America, this is an incredibly important theme, especially during this point in time, okay? It's just incredible how film follows along the same invisible track as so many other expressions of art. But indeed here, during this period of time, especially, as I said, during the New Hollywood era, a lot of films that are culturally relevant, challenging the culture, asking serious questions, searching for truth. And that, of course, is why this film remains relevant today. Not only because of recent political scandal, a lot of it, okay, and now, of course, we seem all the more to slander journalists who challenge the system. And you can imagine, well, if you've seen the film, you see how Woodward and Bernstein are treated in this movie for asking questions and trying to get closer to the truth about the Watergate scandal. And now, of course, our journalists are just outright slandered for even getting in the mix, And unfortunately, some people think of them as the lowest common denominator in the scale of people who have anything to do with the political realm, right? They're just not revered in a way they used to be. And to see that difference, right? To see that difference, I guess I'm not pleased to have that observation. I wish that, journalism, of course, not that I know a terribly great deal about it, but I certainly wish that, truth seekers were more respected and more honored. Even these guys, of course, in All the President's Men, being pretty looked down upon, even by their superiors, even by the guys who wanted to print the story in the Washington Post to make the big bucks on it, okay? Looked down on these guys for how aggressive they were and how relentless they were about getting to the truth. And now, of course, we call those people fact checkers or whatever it is, okay? That's enough of that. Let's just move on. Although, before we do go on, I do want to mention that this is an absolute worthwhile view. My dear friend Mary Lou, who I've mentioned before, she had a fancy for Dustin Hoffman. And I saw this movie and I was like, I see why, that magnificent full head of hair that he had. I don't blame Mary Lou, not one bit. Unrelated to that, though, I think this is definitely a worthwhile viewing. I've not read the novel, although my sweet wife Tori, she read it. I think she said when she was in high school, I believe. And so, check it out. Maybe this will be a book to screen differential topic later on. Okay, spirituality. Well, I've said it a couple times before already, and for me, the great heart of this film is in figuring out the truth. These guys are invested, okay? Their lives are invested in this story, right? They want to get down to the brass tacks. They want to get down to, excuse me, the truth. They want to know what happened, who was involved, what monies were being used, where was the money going, what was it being used for, who was this, who was that, how high up did the scandal go, etc. History itself has proven many things to us about the Watergate scandal, and from all different kinds of perspectives, from Nixon himself, and testimonies, and documents that were recovered, and investigations, and so forth. Leaving that aside, it's how these two men approach truth, and how they seek it, how they search for it, that spoke to me so clearly of the search for truth that we all lead in our lives. I think every friend I've ever had, I can pretty much say, is looking for truth, is searching for truth. I have some very dear friends who are, committed Christians, or Catholics, religious people even, not even Christians or Catholics. They're not Christians at all, but just religious people. And even though their commitment is really great and their faith is strong and solid, they continue to seek. They're always looking for a new expression of faith, or something to reinforce their belief, and whatever it is. I know some friends who are not really religious, who are not spiritual at all, but are seeking truth. I hope she doesn't mind me saying so, but my dear friend Shanda, I know that's a point, in life that she's in right now. Like so many other people, looking for truth, searching for truth, and asking what is really true. Of course, the search for truth not only belongs to every person, but it really has belonged to every time. In the Old Testament, in the Bible, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, what I'm going to say already if you know your Bible a little bit. There's the real big popular verse, 29:12, or 11, excuse me. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope. Quickly, these words are being offered to the exiles in Babylon, okay? What's an easy way to describe that? Pretty much, a bunch of people got kidnapped. The Israelites lost war in Israel, Jerusalem, and they were taken away by the Babylonians to Babylon. And so there they stayed for quite a while. And of course, they were very upset about this. And so they, of course, of all people, would be looking for truth. Why are we here? Why did God let this happen to us? And so, through the prophet Jeremiah, God says, look, I know what I'm doing. Verse 12, moving on. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. This is important before we get to the punchline, right? Our seeking is not in vain. God is watching us. God's listening. And then finally, verse 13. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord. And I will restore your fortunes and will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord. And I will bring you back to the place from where I sent you into exile. An incredible idea here that, of course, reading the story of the Bible, we see, sorry, Facebook is just blowing up all over the place here. I'm just checking to see what's going on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even clicked over. I'm sorry. God allowed this to happen so that his people would seek him all the more. And difficult to say in difficult situations, you know, God, thank you for letting this happen to me so that I could seek you more diligently. I don't know anyone that says that when difficult things happen, but that's the spirit that we're encouraged to have and to take when difficulties come. And not to give up, but to continue the search for truth. The truth of the situation, the quest, the searching that asks, God, why have you done this? Where are you? Where am I? And how am I coming to know you more deeply because of this situation? Whatever it is, okay? In your life, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I do a little bit. It depends on who you are. But in your life, who knows? You know. Maybe you don't even know, but God knows. And this is such an important, good word, and it's trustworthy. God is trustworthy, I promise. If you continue the search, if you continue the quest, you will find truth. And truth, of course, is enough to be the subject of 100 more videos having to do with no movies at all, and so many movies. And it's no wonder that one of the final conversations he had before he went to the cross to die for us, Jesus talked with Pontius Pilate about truth. What is truth? And even in the midst of that conversation, put the link or the citation right there for you. You can read it yourself. You know, Jesus is still saying to Pontius Pilate, look, just in a sense, search for truth. Always be searching. And hopefully, you know, what you find is what you want. That's the flip side of the coin, right? People are going to search for truth, and when they find it, it's not the kind of truth they wanted to find. Uh-oh. But God's promise is true, friends. That is truth. That if we seek for him with all our hearts, if we search for his truth with all our hearts, with all our being, with all we have, with everything we don't have, with all of our strength and integrity and passion, we'll find him. We'll find God. We'll find the God of our fathers, the Father of Jesus Christ. We'll find true truth in him. Unyielding, amazing, incredible truth. Just like in our movie here, number 77, All the President's Men. The truth did come out. And in this situation, you know, the world was never the same after it, certainly in the United States. And so our lives will also dramatically change when we discover the truth of what God has in store for us. A lot of words. Thank you for listening. As always, thank you for watching. I want to bring your attention over here to two videos. I figured I had to do two. Two videos that you guys may want to check out. The top one is about the book-to-screen differential. The test video is being completed as you watch this video, and so we're going to start to rolling those out pretty soon. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how that turns out. And the bottom video here is something not having to do with E.T.'s film review at all, but with E.T. About a diet, and I'm starting the Mountain Man diet. That's why I'm drinking my exceptionally lovely almond milk. And it's very good. It's not milk, but it's very good. So if you want to learn more about almond milk and the Mountain Man diet, click over there and check that out. Really, truly, thanks for watching, as always, my friends. Like and subscribe to the channel if you care to. To the new subscribers out there, welcome. I hope that you enjoy the time you spend here on this channel, and that you enjoy the videos that you watch. As always, hope that you are doing well. Number 76, Forrest Gump, coming up real soon. I'm looking forward to that. My main man, Tom Hanks. Always so glad to talk more about him and his tremendous career. Hey, keep seeking for the truth, all right? Thanks, friends. Bye.